50.
والله أنا نسيت أرسلت لك من آية كم يا فهد؟
93 ولقد بوأنا بني إسرائيل.
نعم 93. أنا أرسلت لك.
We're live now.
يلا على الهواء. السلام عليكم.
We're live now. I'm going to mute myself.
You need to turn it off. Okay. Can't find.
نبدأ يا شيخ بدر.
ما أسمع شيء كلش أبدا.
لكن there is a problem with بدر. They can't hear.
شيخ بدر عنده مشكلة يا شيخ محمد.
أيوة عبد الحكيم.
أحاول أخلصها وأجيك إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
عبد الحكيم.
Yes, Bismillah.
Badr has a problem. He can't hear.
خلاص أوكي.
الآن تمام؟
الحمد لله.
يلا إذا فهد ابدأ بسم الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولقد بوأنا بني إسرائيل مبوأ صدق ورزقناهم من الطيبات فما اختلفوا حتى جاءهم العلم إن ربك يقضي بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. And indeed we settled the children of Israel in an honorable dwelling place and provided them with good things. And they differed not until the knowledge came to them. Verily, your Lord Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection in that which they used to differ.
فإن كنت في شك مما أنزلنا إليك فاسأل الذين يقرؤون الكتاب من قبلك لقد جاءك الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين.
So if you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, are in doubt concerning that which we have revealed to you, i.e. that your name is written in the Torah and the Gospel, and ask those who are reading the book before you, verily the truth has come to you from your Lord, so be not of those who doubt.
ولا تكونن من الذين كذبوا بآيات الله فتكون من الخاسرين.
And do not be of those who deny the verses and evidences of Allah, for then surely you will be one of the losers.
إن الذين حقت عليهم كلمة ربك لا يؤمنون.
Truly, those against whom the wrath of your Lord has been justified will not believe.
ولو جاءتهم كل آية حتى يروا العذاب الأليم.
Even if every sign should come to them until they see the painful torment.
فلولا كانت قرية آمنت فنفعها إيمانها إلا قوم يونس لما آمنوا كشفنا عنهم عذاب الخزي في الحياة الدنيا ومتعناهم إلى حين.
Was there any town or community that believed after seeing the punishment, and its faith at that moment saved it from the punishment? The answer is none, except the people of Jonah. When they believed, we removed from them the torment of disgrace in the life of the present world and permitted them to enjoy for a while.
ولو شاء ربك لآمن من في الأرض كلهم جميعا أفأنت تكره الناس حتى يكونوا مؤمنين.
And had your Lord willed, those on earth would have believed, all of them together. So will you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, then compel mankind until they become believers.
وما كان لنفس أن تؤمن إلا بإذن الله ويجعل الرجس على الذين لا يعقلون.
It is not for any person to believe except by the leave of Allah, and He will put the wrath on those who are heedless.
قل انظروا ماذا في السماوات والأرض وما تغني الآيات والنذر عن قوم لا يؤمنون.
Say, behold all that is in the heavens and the earth, but neither verses or evidences nor warners benefit those who believe not.
فهل ينتظرون إلا مثل أيام الذين خلوا من قبلهم قل فانتظروا إني معكم من المنتظرين.
Then do they wait for anything except for a destruction like that of the days of the men who passed away before them? Say, wait then, I am too with you amongst those who wait.
ثم ننجي رسلنا والذين آمنوا كذلك حقا علينا ننجي المؤمنين.
Then in the end we save our messengers and those who believe. Thus it is incumbent upon us to save the believers.
قل يا أيها الناس إن كنتم في شك من ديني فلا أعبد الذين تعبدون من دون الله ولكن أعبد الله الذي يتوفاكم وأمرت أن أكون من المؤمنين.
Say, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. O you mankind, if you are in doubt as to my religion, then know that I will never worship those whom you worship besides Allah. But I worship Allah, who causes you to die, and I am commanded to be one of the believers.
وأن أقم وجهك للدين حنيفا ولا تكونن من المشركين.
And it is revealed to me, direct your face, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, entirely towards the Islamic religion, and never be one of those who ascribe partners with Allah.
ولا تدع من دون الله ما لا ينفعك ولا يضرك فإن فعلت فإنك إذا من الظالمين.
And invoke not besides Allah any such that will neither profit nor harm you. But if in case you did so, you shall be one of the wrongdoers.
وإن يمسسك الله بضر فلا كاشف له إلا هو وإن يردك بخير فلا راد لفضله يصيب به من يشاء من عباده وهو الغفور الرحيم.
And if Allah touches you with harm, there is none who can remove it but He. And if He intends any good for you, there is none who can repel His favor, which He causes it to reach whomsoever of His slaves He wills. And He is the oft forgiving, the most merciful.
قل يا أيها الناس قد جاءكم الحق من ربكم فمن اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها وما أنا عليكم بوكيل.
Say, O you mankind, now truth has come to you from your Lord. So whosoever receives guidance, he does so for the good of his own self. And whosoever goes astray, he does so to his own loss. And I am not set over you as a disposer of your affairs.
واتبع ما يوحى إليك واصبر حتى يحكم الله وهو خير الحاكمين.
And O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, follow the revelation sent to you, and be patient until Allah gives judgment, and he is the best of judges.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام را كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Alif Lam Ra. These letters are one of the miracles of the Qur'an, and none but Allah alone knows their meanings. This is a book, the verses whereof are perfected, and then explained in detail from Allah, who is all wise, well acquainted.
ألا تعبدوا إلا الله إنني لكم منه نذير وبشير.
Saying, worship none but Allah. Verily I, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, am to you from him a warner and a bringer of glad tidings.
وأن استغفروا ربكم ثم توبوا إليه يمتعكم متاعا حسنا إلى أجل مسمى ويؤتي كل ذي فضل فضله وإن تولوا فإني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم كبير.
And commanding you, seek the forgiveness of your Lord, and turn to him in repentance, that he may grant you good enjoyment for an appointed term, and bestow his abundant grace to every owner of grace. But if you turn away, then I fear for you the torment of a great day.
إلى الله مرجعكم وهو على كل شيء قدير.
To Allah is your return, and he is able to do all things.
ألا إنهم يثنون صدورهم ليستخفوا منه ألا حين يستغشون ثيابهم يعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون إنه عليم بذات الصدور.
No doubt, they did fold up their breasts, that they may hide from him from Allah. Surely, even when they cover themselves with their garments, he knows what they conceal and what they reveal. Verily, he is all-knower of the innermost secrets of the breasts.
وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها ويعلم مستقرها ومستودعها كل في كتاب مبين.
And no moving living creature is there on earth, but its provision is due from Allah, and he knows its dwelling place and its deposit. All is in a clear book.
وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا ولئن قلت إنكم مبعوثون من بعد الموت ليقولن الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين.
And he it is who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and his throne was on the water, that he might try you, which of you is best in deeds. But if you were to say to them, you shall indeed be raised up after death, those who disbelieve will be sure to say, this is nothing but obvious magic.
ولئن أخرنا عنهم العذاب إلى أمة معدودة ليقولن ما يحبسه ألا يوم يأتيهم ليس مصروفا عنهم وحاق بهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون.
And if we delay the torment for them until a determined period, they are sure to say, what holds it back? Verily, on the day it reaches them, nothing will turn it away from them, and they will be surrounded by or fall into that which they used to mock.
ولئن أذقنا الإنسان منا رحمة ثم نزعناها منه إنه ليئوس كفور.
And if we gave man a taste of mercy from us and then withdraw it from him, verily he is despairing, ungrateful.
ولئن أذقناه نعماء بعد ضراء مسته ليقولن ذهب السيئات عني إنه لفرح فخور.
But if we give him good favor after evil has touched him, he is sure to say, evils have departed from me. Surely he is exultant and boastful, ungrateful to Allah.
إلا الذين صبروا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير.
Except those who show patience and do righteous good deeds, theirs will be forgiveness and a great reward.
فلعلك تارك بعض ما يوحى إليك وضائق به صدرك أن يقولوا لولا أنزل عليه كنز أو جاء معه ملك إنما أنت نذير والله على كل شيء وكيل.
So perchance you, Muhammad, may give up a part of what is revealed to you, and that your chest feels straitened for it, because they say, why has not a treasure been sent down to him, or an angel has come with him? But you are only a warner, and Allah is the disposer of all affairs, trustee, guardian over all things.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. حياك الله شيخ محمد.
حياك الله لكم يا شيخ فهد.
الله يكرمك.
شيخ الدكتور سليمان بن سالم السحيمي الآن معنا وإن شاء الله. تفضل يا دكتور سليمان.
أيوة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. الصوت مسموع يا دكتور؟
صوت مسموع بس نحتاج الكاميرا لأن الصم يحتاجون يشوفون حركة الفم وكذا حتى يفهمون بعض الكلمات.
We have translation, please, in English.
افتح لي الكاميرا.
Yeah, they're just sorting out the camera. So
افتح الكاميرا.
Sheikh Mohammed has just asked Sheikh Abdul Salam to turn his camera on so that it can be seen.
هو كان مفتوح بس اضغط عليها وتفتح.
ايوه طيب
ما فتحت، يضغط على الكاميرا تفتح.
اضغط.
الكاميرا
أيوة.
لا ايوه الان تمام. هي تفضل بسم الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته وسار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين. الحمد لله الذي بلغنا رمضان ونسأله جل وعلا أن يعيننا على الصيام والقيام وأن يتقبل منا صالح الأعمال.
Indeed, all praises are due to Allah, the Lord of all creation, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the owner of the Day of Judgment. Thee alone we worship, and Thee alone we seek aid in. Indeed, all praises are due to Allah, the one who has allowed us to come or to achieve and be alive during the month of Ramadan, and we ask Him to accept from us our efforts during this month.
موضوعنا في هذه الجلسة شروط قبول العمل، أي ما هي الشروط التي يجب أن تتوفر لكي يكون العمل مقبولا، أو متى تكون العبادة والعمل يكون مقبولا.
The topic of tonight's lesson is the conditions of the acceptance of righteous actions. So, what are the conditions that must be fulfilled in order for actions to be accepted?
لقد خلق الله عز وجل الخلق لعبادته، قال تعالى: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. والعبادة هي ما يتقرب به إلى الله عز وجل، وهي اسم جامع لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه من الأقوال والأعمال الظاهرة والباطنة.
And Allah, indeed, He has created the creation so that they worship Him. And Allah has said in the Qur'an that which means, and indeed, I never created the jinn nor the mankind except that they worship me. And this concept of worshipping, it's drawing near to Allah and close to Him. And it's also been defined as a comprehensive term. Ismun Jami' for a comprehensive term that encompasses everything that Allah loves and is pleased with, from statement and action, those that are manifest and outward, and those that are inward.
فالصلاة والزكاة والصيام والحج وصدق الحديث وأداء الأمانة وبر الوالدين وصلة الأرحام والوفاء بالعهد والأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر والإحسان للجار واليتيم والمسكين وابن السبيل والدعاء والذكر وقراءة القرآن وأمثال ذلك من العبادة.
So, praying, giving in charity, making pilgrimage, being dutiful to one's parents, keeping good ties of kinship and relationship, being good to others, making supplication to Allah, making remembrance of Allah. These are all different various types of worship of Allah the Most High.
هذه الأعمال وهذه العبادات لا تكون مقبولة عند الله عز وجل إلا بشرطين أساسيين: الأول الإخلاص والثاني المتابعة.
So these different types of worship, none of them are accepted or acceptable to Allah except when two conditions are fulfilled. The first is that they are done sincerely for the sake of Allah the Most High, and the second is that they are done in conformity to the Sunnah, to the example of the Prophet peace and blessings be upon him.
وإذا فقد أحد هذين الشرطين ردت هذه العبادة على صاحبها ولم تكن مقبولة.
And if one of these conditions are lacking or not present, then this action, it's rejected and it's flung upon the person who does it. It's not accepted.
فالإخلاص هو تصفية العمل التعبد لله وحده دون سواه.
And having sincerity, it's cleansing and purification of the action, which results in the person only intending by it Allah the Most High.
وقد تنوعت تعريفات العلماء للإخلاص ولكن مدارها على قصد الله سبحانه وتعالى بالعبادة دون سواه.
And the scholars, they have various different interpretations or definitions. Definitions is a better word. They have different definitions of what sincerity is, and all of these definitions, they revolve around this meaning of intending Allah through worship, and intending Allah alone through worship.
فحقيقة الإخلاص التبري من كل ما دون الله تعالى، وقيل الإخلاص تصفية العمل عن ملاحظة المخلوقين.
So the reality of sincerity is to free oneself from all other than Allah. And it's also been said that it's to cleanse oneself from those things other than Allah.
وقد ذكر ابن القيم رحمه الله ما يقارب 13 تعريفا للإخلاص، كلها ترجع إلى معنى واحد، وهو أن يقصد العبد بأقواله وأعماله وإرادته ونيته وجه الله سبحانه دون سواه، من غير أن ينظر إلى مغنم أو جاه أو لقب أو تقدم أو تأخر إلى غير ذلك من أعراض الدنيا.
And the scholar, the Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, he mentioned 13 different definitions of sincerity. And all of these, as we've said, they revolve around one general meaning. And that is for an individual to intend by their actions, by their speech, and by any type of worship that they do, they intend Allah and none other than Allah. So what they do, yes, they do. What they don't do, they don't pay any consideration to status or wealth or any other benefit that someone can bring about in the worldly life. Rather, they purify themselves and they do their actions solely for Allah, not for any worldly gain.
فالإخلاص أساس الإيمان والعمل، لا قوام لهما إلا به، فهو لهما كالأساس بالنسبة للبنيان والروح للأبدان، فكما أنه لا قيام ولا ثبات للبنيان من غير أساس متين لا خلل ولا وهن فيه، فكذلك الإيمان والعمل لا قيام لهما ولا اعتبار بهما إذا خليا من الإخلاص.
And sincerity, it's the foundation of faith and it's the foundation of action. And there is no faith, nor is there action without this sincerity. And it's like the foundation of a building, where if the foundation isn't in place, the building will fall. And it's also like the spirit or the soul for the body, that the body, it cannot stand except for with the soul. And this sincerity, it's something that must happen or must take place in order for the action to be correct.
وكما أنه لا حياة للأبدان بدون روح، فكذلك الإيمان والعمل لا ينتفع بهما إذا لم يؤسسا على الإخلاص.
So just as we have said, just as there is no life for the individual without the soul. This is just as faith is, or this is just as a relationship between sincerity and faith, that there is no faith that's true and correct except with this sincerity.
فالإخلاص هو الوسيلة لصحة الإيمان والأعمال جميعا. فالإيمان إذا خلى عن الإخلاص أضحى نفاقا متوعدا عليه بالدرك الأسفل من النار، كما قال تعالى: إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار.
And this sincerity, it's a vehicle that takes an individual to Allah, and it's a vehicle that takes one to correct faith and to a correct degree of faith. And when it's not there and it's compromised, this leads an individual to be thrown into the lowest pits of the hellfire. Just as Allah the Most High said, indeed, the hypocrites, those who do not have sincerity, they are in the lowest pits of the fire.
والعمل إذا خلا من الإخلاص أو خالطه غيره من الإرادات خرج إلى كونه ضربا من المراءات وإرادة الدنيا القادحة في صحة العمل وقبوله.
And the action that an individual does, if it lacks sincerity, or if it's blemished with a lack of sincerity, it becomes something that the individual does as a means for the worldly life only.
وقد دلت الأدلة من الكتاب والسنة على ذلك. فمن الكتاب قوله تعالى: قل أمر ربي بالقسط وأقيموا وجوهكم عند كل مسجد وادعوه مخلصين له الدين، أي اعملوا لربكم مخلصين له الدين والطاعة، لا تخلطوا ذلك بشرك ولا تجعلوا في شيء مما تعملون له شريكا.
And this is something that the evidences of the book and the sunnah have indicated. And Allah says that, which means, say, my Lord has ordered with justice, and he has ordered you to be sincere in your faith, and not to direct any of your worship towards anyone other than he.
وقال تعالى: فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين ألا لله الدين الخالص، أي الذي لا يشوبه شيء.
And Allah the Most High said, and worship Allah sincerely in your religion. Is it not true that for Allah, or is it not the case that for Allah is the sincere religion? So do not blemish it, and do not associate partners with him.
قال ابن كثير رحمه الله عند قوله تعالى: ألا لله الدين الخالص، أي لا يقبل من العمل إلا ما أخلص فيه العامل لله وحده لا شريك له.
And the scholar Ibn Kathir and the explainer of the Quran, he mentioned the statement of Allah the Most High is not for Allah the sincere religion. He mentioned the meaning of this is that Allah does not accept for those, he doesn't accept actions except those which are done sincerely for his sake.
وقال تعالى: قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. وقال تعالى: قل الله أعبد مخلصا له ديني. وفي هذا أن العبادة لله وحده لا شريك له. فقوله قل الله أعبد يفيد الحصر، أي لا أعبد أحدا غير الله.
And Allah the Most High says that, which means, say, indeed, I've been ordered to worship Allah sincerely in my religion. So here the worship is only for Allah, and it's not to be directed to anyone but He.
إلى غير ذلك من الآيات الكريمة الواردة في شأن الإخلاص، كما جاءت السنة مؤكدة لمنزلة الإخلاص، معظمة لشانه، مفصحة عن فضله ومنزلته. فمن ذلك حديث أبي أمامة رضي الله عنه قال: جاء رجل إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال: أرأيت رجلا غزا يلتمس الأجر والذكر ما له؟ فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا شيء له، فأعادها 3 مرات، ويقول رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا شيء له، ثم قال إن الله لا يقبل من العمل إلا ما كان خالصا وابتغي به وجهه.
And there are many other verses in the book of Allah that indicate this meaning and point to the importance of sincerity. And also we can look to the example of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that also give this meaning. And it was reported or narrated that Abu Umama, he said that a man came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, what do you think of a man who fights seeking reward and fame? What will he have? And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he responded, he will have nothing. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, repeated this 3 times. And then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, indeed, Allah does not accept any deed except that which is purely for him and seeking his face.
وفي الحديث القدسي أن الله عز وجل يقول أنا أغنى الشركاء عن الشرك من عمل عملا أشرك فيه معي غيري تركته وشركه، أي من قصد بعمله غيري من المخلوقين تركته وشركه.
And in the hadith, in the narration, that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, reported that his Lord said, this special type of narration where Allah said, indeed, I am the most, it's like saying I'm in least need, or I'm richer, or I'm above. Probably that's the best. I'm above having any partners. And indeed, whosoever does an action and they give a portion of it or they share it to anyone other than I, then indeed I have left this person and I have left their associated action. So here we learn that whosoever intends through their action other than Allah, that their action will not be accepted.
إذن فالإخلاص أيها الأحبة لا يتأتى مع الشرك أو الرياء أو إرادة الإنسان بعمله الدنيا، كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى، والأحاديث في هذا الباب كثيرة.
So as a result of this, we see that that no action is accepted if there is any portion of associating partners with Allah or doing it to be seen or for fame. As the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, actions are but by their intention. And there are many narrations in this regard with this meaning.
فعلى الإنسان المسلم أن يجتهد في تحقيق الإخلاص في أقواله وأفعاله التي يتقرب بها إلى الله عز وجل، وأن يحاول جاهدا أن يربي نفسه ويعودها على الأخذ بالإخلاص في جميع أعماله، إذ الإخلاص من أشق الأشياء على النفس، وكما قال الإمام أحمد رحمه الله أمر النية شديد.
Subhanallah. So it's upon the individual to work hard, strive and endeavor in their speech and in their actions, those that they intend through which to worship Allah. So the speech and actions that they do to worship Allah, they must strive to make them sincerely for Allah's face. For indeed, this is something that's very difficult, and it's something that doesn't come about easily. And Imam Ahmad said, indeed, the matter of sincerity, it's a great matter. It's something that's heavy and it's something that's serious.
وكما جاء عن بعض السلف أعز شيء في الدنيا الإخلاص.
And some of the early Muslims, it was reported that they said the greatest thing in the worldly life, in the life of this world, is the intention.
أما الشرط الثاني فهو المتابعة، والمراد بالمتابعة هي الموافقة للرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم، أي أن يكون العمل الذي يتقرب به وفق سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
As for the second condition of the acceptance of righteous deeds, then that is the conformity of that deed to the example of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. So the deed is done as it was done by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
لأن ديننا الإسلامي قد أكمله الله تعالى قبل أن ينتقل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى الرفيق الأعلى، فليس هو في حاجة إلى من يزيد فيه أو ينقص منه، كما قال تعالى: اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا، فهو كامل تام صالح لكل زمان ومكان، أتمه الله فلن ينقصه أبدا ورضيه فلن يسخطه أبدا.
And the religion of Allah, it's something that has been completed, and it's not something that is in need of completion. Allah the Most High said that, which means, indeed, on this day, I've completed for you your religion, and I've completed my favor upon you, and I've chosen Al-Islam as a religion. So the religion of Al-Islam, as it is, Allah has declared the fact that He is pleased with it as it is, or as it was on that day, and He has also declared that He completed it, and again as it was on that day.
وقد جاءت النصوص الكثيرة التي تأمر بالاتباع وتحذر من الابتداع والإحداث في الدين. قال تعالى: وما آتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا. وقال تعالى: من يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله ومن تولى فما أرسلناك عليهم حفيظا. وقال تعالى: فليحذر الذين يخالفون عن أمره أن تصيبهم فتنة أو يصيبهم عذاب أليم.
And the texts that order us to obey and follow the example of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, are many. There are many texts that indicate this, and from them is that which Allah has said, and that which the Prophet has given you, then take it, and that which He has prohibited you from, then abstain from it and leave it. And He also said, the Most High, and whosoever follows and obeys the Messenger, then indeed they have followed Allah. And also Allah has said, and let they be warned, those let them be warned, those who go against His affair, or those who go against His order, that a trial and tribulation will befall them, and a great torment will befall them.
وقال تعالى: قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله. فقد جعل الله جل وعلا الاتباع والانقياد دليل تلك المحبة، وبه يعرف الصادق من المدعي. فهذه الآية حاكمة على كل من ادعى محبة الله وليس على سنة رسول الله، فإن كان كاذب في دعواه في نفس الأمر فإنه كاذب في دعواه في نفس الأمر حتى يتبع الشرع المحمدي والدين النبوي في جميع أفعاله وأقواله. ولذلك قال الحسن البصري رحمه الله وغيره من السلف: زعم قوم أنهم يحبون الله فابتلاهم بهذه الآية.
And also we see that Allah the Most High, He said, say, O people, if you love Allah, or say, O Muhammad, to the people, if you love Allah, then follow me, follow my guidance. So here it shows that following the guidance of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is an indication and a proof of the individual's love for Allah. And here Allah has said that whosoever loves Allah will follow the example of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. And this is this is the scale. So if an individual loves Allah truly, then it will lead to them following the religion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And one of the early Muslim scholars, Al-Hasan al-Basri, he said, indeed, there were a people and they claimed that they love Allah. Then Allah put them to test. He put this love that they claimed to test through this verse.
ومن السنة أحاديث كثيرة منها قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعدي عضوا عليها بالنواجذ وإياكم ومحدثات الأمور فإن كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار.
And there are many narrations from the example of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that give us this meaning to follow the example, his example, peace and blessings be upon him. From them, the narration where he said, and upon you, incumbent upon you, is my example and the example of the rightly guided caliphs. Cling and adhere onto it, even if you were to bite on with your molar teeth. And beware of the newly invented matters, for indeed the newly invented matters are misguidance.
وفي الصحيحين عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. فقد دلت هذه النصوص وما جاء في معناها على وجوب تجريد المتابعة لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنه لا قبول لعمل بدون ذلك مهما كان ذلك العمل.
And also it's been reported by Imam al-Bukhari and Muslim, may Allah have mercy upon them both, on the authority of Aisha, may Allah have mercy upon her, that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whosoever introduces into this affair of ours, meaning Islam, that which is not from it, they will have it rejected. So this, and along with the other narrations that we have cited, they all indicate the obligation of following only the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the indication that actions, no matter how good they are or what shape or form they take, they will not be accepted except through following the guidance or following his guidance and through their being in conformity with his example.
إذن فلا بد لصحة أي عمل نريد أن نتقرب به إلى الله من شرطين أساسين وهذان الشرطان لا بد من وجودهما مجتمعين لا ينفك أحدهما عن الآخر وهما الأول الإخلاص إخلاص العبادة لله عز وجل والثاني تجريد المتابعة للرسول صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
So it's in order for actions to be accepted and acceptable by Allah the Most High, there are two conditions that those actions must fulfill. Firstly, they must be sincere and done sincerely for Allah, and secondly, they must be done in conformity with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him's example. And these are two things that must take place at the same time. So the action cannot be separated from one and not the other and still be acceptable.
ولعل للحديث بقية ونسأل الله عز وجل في هذا الشهر المبارك وفي هذه الساعة المباركة أن يرزقنا الإخلاص في القول والعمل ولزوم سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأن يجعل أعمالنا خالصة لله صوابا على سنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وإلى الملتقى في وقت آخر إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. حفظكم الله شيخنا وبارك فيكم.
حياكم الله.
الشيخ الدكتور سليمان بن سالم السحيمي. هذه المحاضرة القيمة الماتعة إن شاء الله عز وجل أن يثقل بها موازين حسناتكم وينفع بها المسلمين. وشكر الله للمسلمين الأخ عقيل والأخ بدر وجستن، ونشكر أيضا الأخ عبد الحكيم القائم على الجمعية. وفق الله الجميع، سددكم جميعا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So this is what I put forward for tonight's lecture, and it should be noted that this is not an exhaustive exploration of this, because there is more that we can speak about this, but we'll suffice with this for tonight. And I ask Allah the Most High to accept from us our actions from our fasting and our standing in prayer on this blessed night at this blessed hour. And I look forward to our next meeting, where we will explore some further topics, and may Allah send and shower peace, blessings and salutations upon his Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions to the day of resurrection. So
Jazakallah Sheikh. Jazakallah Akil, Sheikh Badr, Sheikh Muhammad Maliki, Akil, Jazakallah Khairan, and Jason, Justin, sorry. Thank you very much for joining us. And inshallah, we'll continue with our hour of power classes tomorrow, inshallah, at the same time, same place. Jazakallah Khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.